Hello everyone, we've got two more murderers that escaped during transport this time. This is just between yesterday at 2 p.m., one in Texas and one in Indiana, and one of them as recent as about 15 hours ago. I'm getting really worried about our officers and the citizens. We've had a lot of escapes lately and all of them murderers. We know about the debacle in Alabama, how that ended. Now we have two new ones out there. First, I'll give you the Texas one, and I've got pieces of paper here because once again we have same names, same last names. Both of the escapees, although one's in Texas and one's in Illinois County, Indiana, they're both named Lopez. Our last escape was White and White, of course, Officer White, Inmate White. I don't know what's going on lately, but it's getting dangerous for our folks out there. 16 inmates were being transported from Gatesville, Texas to Huntsville, Texas. And inmate Gonzalo Lopez, who's serving a life sentence for killing a man on the Texas-Mexico border with a pickaxe, somehow slipped out of his shackles, got up to the driver. Now there was a driver, an officer that was driving, and an officer in the back of the bus. 16 inmates on the bus. He managed to stab the officer in the hand, the driver, and there was a struggle over the steering wheel. He was trying to take over the bus. Apparently he went for the officer's gun. Thank goodness the officer had weapon retention enough to stop him from doing that. The bus crashed into a ditch, and inmate Gonzalo Lopez ran across a cow field, and they're searching for him now. There's a manhunt going on for him. Being in Texas, knowing that he murdered somebody on the Mexico-Texas line, I'm going to guess that he's headed to Mexico. You know, don't have to be a genius to figure that out. He could fool us and go somewhere else. Maybe he knows somebody somewhere up in Texas. But I'm guessing he's going to head for Mexico, but hoping he'll be caught real soon. And, you know, I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback, but here's the questions in mind, okay? He slipped out of his shackles. How did he do that? We're going to have to investigate that, right? Part of the investigation. There's a manhunt going on, but we're also going to investigate, try to find out how did these things occur? Were the shackles too loose? I don't know. I wasn't there, but we're going to investigate. If I was there, or we all were there talking about this now, if we were actually there and assigned to investigate this, we would want to know who put the shackles on, how did he slip out of them, number one. What did he stab the officer in the hand with? How did he get that? Did he take it off something that was on the bus and loose? Or did he have it on him when he got on the bus? Was he searched properly? How did he get this item? Did another inmate, was another inmate in on this escape? Did another inmate, you have to look at that as well, sneak in the weapon for Gonzalo Lopez and then hand it to him on the bus somewhere? So many scenarios that have to be investigated. I'm not sure how they transport on this bus, but he got to the driver. He got to the driver, so there was no cage with a locked door between the inmates and the driver. I don't know. That's a question I'm asking. We have to investigate and find out. How did he get to the driver? Is it a wide open? Was he able to just slip out of the shackles, take the weapon up, and stab the officer in the hand? Apparently yes, because it happened. How did he get to the officer up front? The officer had no protection between he and the inmates. The officer in the back, you know, if we were investigating, we would ask him, what actions did you take? I'm sure he didn't just stand there. I'm sure he or she ran up and tried to assist the fellow officer. But when you investigate this, you're going to start from the minute these inmates were picked up from their dorms for transport, handcuffed and shackled. Who searched them? How many times were they searched? Were they searched by the dorm officer and put outside in what we used to call a cage? I know people hate the term cage in the free world, but that's what we called it. And now I have my inmate in the cage ready for transport. Here come the transport officers to pick up the inmate, and they should search the inmate again, right? Because they are the ones now responsible for the inmate from this point forward. Was there another search done? On all 16 inmates, we'd have to find out who searched them. You know, I'm sure these inmates came from different areas of the prison or the jail, not all from the same dorm. So we're going to have to really investigate and find out who did the searching, who put them on, who put the shackles on this inmate and the handcuffs. What time did they get on the transport bus? You know, I've done articles on transportation being the weakest link. It's one of the weakest links we have, because once we take those inmates outside of the prison or the jail, now it's just 2 officers and these inmates on the road. There's no perimeter to keep them inside. It's you watching them. It's so important to make sure they have no weapons on them. It's so important to make sure the shackles and handcuffs are put on properly. So important to keep an eye on them, watch them. I think it's very important to have the driver separated from the inmates so that the inmates cannot get to the driver. A lot of things to investigate and look at, but let's put this into perspective and talk about something good. The other 15 inmates did not run. They stayed on the bus. The officer that got stabbed on the hand will be okay from reports. So no officers are injured or killed, thank God. Now we have a manhunt, and we have to catch this inmate before he kills some innocent civilian. Please catch this guy soon, and thank God that nobody was hurt on the bus, okay, other than the stabbing in the hand. That's obviously an injury, and it hurts. But what I mean is no one was killed, thank God for that. Okay, so we've got that one that's active right now, trying to find them. And then we have an Indiana case yesterday. Jaime Lopez, J-A-Y-M-E. This was Gonzalo Lopez in Texas. Now we're having an inmate who's being extradited from Illinois County into Indiana to another county in Indiana. He escaped the transport bus. Now, there's not much information on this yet. We understand that he did get a weapon. He did obtain a weapon. I'm thinking it might be from one of the transport officers, but the Indiana Department of Corrections is kind of keeping this one quiet at the moment. There'll be more coming out. They're asking for the state troopers to investigate this transport and escape. So again, we have to investigate. And now the good news on this one is the inmate in Indiana, Jaime Lopez, had got into a building. He was found. He started shooting at the tactical squads with this weapon that he obtained, and he was shot by the tactical squads, recaptured. Of course, this was after they tried to negotiate. They did everything they could to negotiate, to get him to come out. Heck no, he shoots, and he was wounded apparently, and he's in a hospital. So he is off the streets, thank goodness. The investigation will start on that now. And again, here we go. Weapons retention. Where did he get that weapon from? How did he get up and available to escape from the transport vehicle? How was he secured in the vehicle? Who secured him at the jail? You know, lots of questions for that investigation to go on. But thank goodness he's recaptured. Thank God no officers or anybody was hurt, and no innocent civilians were hurt. Lots of escapes lately. Lots of escapes lately. I think it's time to tighten up, do some training throughout the country with the agencies, state, county, federal, I don't care. Nobody's better than the other one. We have great people working at all levels, county, state, and federal. But something's going on, and I know that the Alabama case is separate from these types that I just talked about today. That's an officer just helping an inmate escape, and that's a whole nother story there during that investigation. There's going to have to be a lot of investigation administratively and criminally in the Alabama case as well. Yes, Officer White is dead, so you say, why investigate? No, we still investigate. We still investigate and find out exactly what happened from the moment she took that guy out of the jail, and we investigate why this happened and it was not caught early on. And why we also investigate why there were so many hours without communication with Officer White before they figured out she was not coming back and the inmate was not coming back. Man, these 3 escapes are just crazy. Remember, transportation is the weakest link. When you transport an inmate, you are responsible for the inmate, the partner that's with you, if you're fortunate enough to have a partner, I hope so, on these inmate transports like this. Please make sure they're secured properly. Please search them thoroughly and make sure they have no weapons. Every single inmate needs a good search and a thorough search before getting on that transport bus. Agencies, so please use vehicles and buses where they have a cage between the driver and the inmates, so they can't get to the driver. And then do a thorough investigation. And once you get your investigative report, agencies, look at the mistakes that occurred and train, and fix those mistakes. All right, let's hope this other guy gets caught in Texas, and then the last 3 escapes, we can rest easy that they've all been caught. But right now, out of the last 3 escapes, 2 are back in custody. 1 is on the loose. Pray for everybody out there. Thank you, officers, for your service. Please stay safe. Please be diligent in your transports. Please be diligent. We want you to stay safe in these transports. Thank you. True Prison Stories, Gary York.